Hello, everyone. Let me know that you can see me and hear me. We have a little bit of a different location today, and then we'll get started. I'll wait for this to go live. Super excited to be here with you guys today. Okay, I think I am live. Okay, awesome. Let me know that the voice and everything's good. So, today we're talking about 20 ways to stop acting like a peasant with men, money, life, all of the categories. I mean, I can probably do 100 ways, but in this first video, I'm going to do 20, and then maybe we'll add to it over time, depending on what you guys think. I need this today. Good, good, good. Awesome. Okay. All right. So let's get comfy. I'm in my media room today. And I have a list. So what I'm going to do is I will go through my list of 20 ways that we act like a peasant, and then I will take questions. And if you would like to participate in the group chat, there is a join button, and there is also a link in the description box where you can join the Level Up Queens community, and you get access to the live stream chat as well as videos that we have removed from YouTube. They still remain in the chat. I'm sorry, in the membership area. Okay, 20 ways to stop acting like a peasant. Okay. Number one is thinking that you have to figure it all out. That is peasant consciousness for sure. In fact, before I even continue, let me explain to you what do I mean by peasant consciousness. So I've talked about often with you guys that we have these two parts of us that inform us, right? Like we've got that animal human part of us that's very ego based. It's very like much like a program. It cares about our earthly survival. It's very me centered. I have to survive. I can't look bad. It's very much concerned with how you look and your survival, right? Like it's the mental plane. And then there is the high-end divinity, the consciousness, the God part, the part that's connected to source, the oneness part. And here on this earth, we need to be able to merge both of them together and work with them at the same time. If you're too much in the earthly plane, you're going to be thinking all the time. You're going to be very much ego focused. Everything's going to scare you. You're going to have anxiety, depression, worried all the time. Very much like working alone and by your side. Everything's just logic and rational thinking, which there's nothing wrong with logic or rational, but there's no magic in your life. There's no like working with consciousness. There's no working with the divine blueprint, right? It's just very ego based, okay? When we're in the ego, when we're a mental plane based, we act like peasants, literally. Like we will act like we are just the biggest peasant. We'll treat everyone else like peasants and we'll act like peasants. We're like super in scarcity mode. Because remember that the mental plane, the ego mind, formed over millions of years of our evolutionary history when life was really tough. We lived out in the wilderness, in caves for some of it. Life was hard, food was scarce, the seasons were really harsh. We lost half of our offspring to diseases. We died in childbirth. We had rival tribes attacking us. Like life was seriously very hard. So this brain that we have developed over millions of years is hyperactive, looking out for survival threats. And even though now we've traded jungles for cities, it doesn't know that. And so it's always scanning the environment and looking for problems. And if it doesn't see any problems, it makes up problems and then tries to solve them. So life is going to be very hard in this mode. When we are connected to our source, when we're connected to God consciousness, our energy expands, our heart expands. We have access to information that the logical, rational mind just wouldn't have, that the mental plane wouldn't have. There's magic in the way that we function. And we know that we're very supported by the universe, by God, by angels, by ancestors. We're working in the quantum, and we have access to infinite potential, and our energy just expands, right? So over the years, over the decades, I should say, I have trained and trained and trained and trained myself to spend as much time as possible in the metaphysical realm while also being in my emotional control, right? Like being also mindful that I do have a brain. So I'm not like off in the heavens somewhere and I'm no longer like, in my human body. I'm having a human experience, but I'm also aware that I am a spiritual being. And so that takes me out of peasant consciousness. When I have peasant moments, I have a conversation with myself. I say, Mina, you are not a peasant. God is not a peasant, and the people supporting you are not peasants. Stop acting this way. And when I say this to myself, that usually does the trick because I have now decades of training having this conversation and embodying the inner work. So, everyone's still with me. Hi, everyone. Give this video a thumbs up, and I will be taking questions, but let me go through the 21st. So, number one thing that puts us in peasant consciousness, or how to know when we're in peasant consciousness, is when you are thinking that you by yourself have to figure it all out. Okay? The truth is that you do not have to figure it all out by yourself. It will seem like that, your brain will tell you that, but there are infinite number of resources available. Okay? Let me give you an example of this. And I know many people do this, and this is an example from my life. When I got the desire in my heart, and a desire is confirmation that that's the action I'm supposed to be taking, that's what I'm supposed to be moving towards. When I had the desire that I was going to be a millionaire and that I was going to have an important message and I was going to share it with the world, I didn't know how. I didn't. And if I tried to figure it out, I wouldn't have been able to figure it out. And the reason that I wouldn't be able to figure it out is because the things that were going to lead me to it were not invented yet. They were not available yet. So for example, my first route to, personal and financial freedom was the decision to get remarried, right? And this time marry a full provider and all of that stuff. Well, that was not a possibility at that time because first of all, I wasn't even in the mental space to actually. Yeah, when the first thing came, I had decided that I was never going to get married, right? And I don't even know, but I'm pretty sure that Irfan was married to someone else at the time. Like, I think he was married to his ex-wife. So that's just an example that, like, that couldn't have occurred. Second thing that was the part about you sharing the message, the reason I couldn't have figured that out is because the internet or internet was invented, YouTube hadn't been invented yet. This was in a year where I don't even think Facebook was invented yet. So how could I figure something out that literally hasn't been invented yet? So my owning of the desire invented the thing. It called it forth. It created that world. So that's why now when I have new desires, I don't go into how is this going to manifest because I just remind myself that there's no point in trying to figure it out because it probably hasn't even been invented yet. Me owning the desire is the thing that's going to invent it. So instead of thinking about how I'm going to do it, I just relish in the fact that this is happening and start owning the desire, knowing the desire, and doing the inner work to align with that thing. Okay. Number two, thing that puts us in peasant consciousness or can be a sign that we're already in peasant consciousness is trying to recruit, co-sign, or take everyone with us. The truth is that every single person that has incarnated on this planet has been given its own soul blueprint. And some people are meant to be in our life for a momentary point because that's where our timelines were supposed to intersect. And some of these people teach us the lessons, teach us the things, and invoke desire in us, whatever, and then they go on their own path. And then other people, carry on to the next timeline and the next timeline. But at any given time, our paths can separate because now they have to go do that other thing that's in their soul blueprint, and that has nothing to do with you. So I've learned this lesson definitely the hard way because I, since I was young, always had this mentality that whatever I have to share. And that if I'm being successful, then I have to make sure everyone's coming with me. If I'm having money, then I have to give everyone the money. If I found an idea, then everyone else has to know that idea. And the truth is, I've learned that not everyone wants the same things as me. Not everyone wants money. Not everyone wants a happy relationship. Not everyone wants to be in their dream body. Not everyone wants a successful, thriving, soul-led business. Those are just things that I've been assigned to me. And so trying to get people there that literally have a different design or they haven't activated that desire yet is not only fruitless, it's unfair, it's breaking their free will, but it's also stopping my progress because I'm wasting precious time trying to co-sign people with me when I just have to be the one that does it. So if they're meant to come with you, they will be inspired and they will come with you, I promise. But don't try to drag them there. Number three, way that you are being a peasant, and I want you to stop it, is that you are not seeing others as capable. Just like you have a brain and you have hands and feet and you have consciousness and you have free will and you have the ability to make decisions and you have the ability to take action that is aligned with those decisions, so does everyone else. Some people don't act like it, yes, but they do have that. The same God that created you created them. And no, they didn't miss the memo and didn't show up to the brain gathering. They were there and they have a brain. They're probably choosing not to use it, but that is not your problem. So see other people as capable or at least having the ability to be capable at some point and let them figure it out. Sometimes people learn the hard way and they have to figure it out. But if you're trying to feed them the answers and that can create all kinds of distortions in your reality and keep you from what you're supposed to be doing. So don't be in peasant consciousness and stop seeing others and incapable and trying to carry them literally on your back. Okay, that is not your job. Number four way that you are in your peasant consciousness is if there's something that you desire, instead of raising yourself up to that thing's level, whether it's a price point or whatever, instead of trying to discount that thing, raise yourself up to that level. So a lot of people, men do this, women do this, everyone does this. I talk about this in my upcoming book. I have a whole story about this, about when I had my first job and I was it was my first job ever. I was 17 and the second day, my manager puts me on like the customer service register, and I'm like freaking out. And I'm like, oh my God, I just started. And like, I would just like to remind you that I've just started. And she's like, I know. And I know that you're fully capable. And she put me on the register, threw me in the lion's den, and I had to learn. And on my first day on the customer service register, this woman showed up with this vase saying that there was this imaginary scar on it or scratch on it and I couldn't see it and I was very confused and I asked her would she like me to find her another one and she said no, what she would like is a 10% discount and I couldn't understand that why would she want to buy a vase that has a scratch on it and I also couldn't understand why I couldn't see the scratch and years later I learned that she was a peasant and she wanted that vase down to her peasant level and the only way that she could see herself doing this was putting an imaginary scratch on that vase and then trying to get a 10% discount. So people will try to discount you. They're being peasants. Don't discount yourself and don't try to discount other people either. So I feel inspired by people's prices. Like now there are times where I will ask for a price and that person's expertise or their value to me doesn't match their price and I will say thank you for letting me know, no thank you, and then I will move on. But if that thing is up to my standards, it's valuable and I want it, I will never try to discount that thing because that it's like that's the price. And there have been things I bought that scared me to death because they were so outside of my comfort zone when I bought them. But after that point, my container got stretched and I was like, wow, what else can I afford? And then that owning brought in more money, more resources. So don't discount, raise yourself up to that level, and don't let other people discount you either. Recognize their peasantry. Okay. Number five thing that you need to do to stop being a peasant right now is deciding. No, five. I'm skipping. Five is trying to solve problems that haven't occurred yet. Oh my God. I think most human beings are addicted to this. Again, goes back to our primitive human brain. We do this. It's such a valuable waste of resources. Like, don't do it. It's a waste of valuable resources, is what I'm trying to say. I conditioned myself out of this, and then I don't let other people put me in that space. So whenever someone comes to me and they're like, oh my God, what if this happens? Or what if that happens? And I'm like, we will worry about it and figure it out when and if that happens. I talked about this in my upcoming book as well, that when I was younger in my 20s and even in my early 30s, I used to lay up like worrying about things about my children, like all the stuff that literally hadn't happened. Like I wasted precious life force energy, precious time worrying about things that didn't happen. And then later on, when I thought they were gonna happen, they didn't happen because my circumstances had changed by that time. So what I've learned is that our present consciousness, it's not very good at anticipating future problems. So why on earth should you like waste time? Now, if it does happen, then solve it by any means, solve it, right? Like, of course you should solve it. So I don't waste time solving problems that haven't happened yet. I feel like that is peasantry. Don't do it. Number six way that you are acting like a peasant is deciding the ending before God's final act. So what I've noticed in my life is that when something happens, and I used to do this a lot as a teenager and in my 20s, where something bad would happen or something that I was judging as bad would happen, and I would be freaking the F out and like panicking and having panic attacks and being anxious and spending hours and hours and hours of resources, like energetic resources, worrying about something. And then a year later, when I was on the end of it, I would say, oh my God, I'm so glad that happened because I learned this, and this happened as a result of that, and I wouldn't change a thing. I did this repeatedly with so many areas of my life until I got to my early 30s and I was like, oh my God, every single bad thing that happened to me, I'm using hand quotes, air quotes here for those of you guys listening on the podcast and on YouTube podcast and can't see, what I realized is that I was judging that thing as bad before God's final act. God's final act was, and then she gets to thrive. And then she becomes a millionaire as a result of that. And then she becomes happily married. And then she's in her dream body. But before God was like, ta-da! I was like, oh no, I can't believe this is happening and my life is ruined and this happened and that happened. So in my early 30s, uh, I realized that I had been doing this my whole life. So then after that point, if something happened, even if I thought it was air quotes bad or the world was telling me this is bad, I would say, wait a minute, Mina. You don't know how this is going to end. God hasn't done ta-da yet. God hasn't, set the final act yet. Like this is an ongoing play. And so now I don't judge anything as good or bad or whatever. Like I'm just in it, experiencing it, and I let the thing play out because what I've known, this is my birthday month, November 2023. I will be turning 43 this month. And what I've learned up until 43 years of my life is that every single thing that happened to me has happened for me. Every single thing. Like God always has the final word, and that final ta-da is always like OMG, like so worth it, like so worth it. So I do not judge my circumstances that are happening in the moment as like good or bad. Like I might be in a human moment and be like, oh no, what's happening? And then I'm like, hold on, hold on, hold on. God hasn't revealed the final act yet, okay? So let me check in with you guys and then we'll move on to seven. I have 20 total. We've just done six. So very blessed. Let me see what you guys are saying. Get your emotions out of it the way before God decides. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes, we're talking about peasant consciousness today. And okay, so let me say a quick few things, community announcements before we move on to seven and then all the way to 20. So you guys know that every year for my birthday, for the holiday season, and for my brand's birthday, you guys know I launched my first course on November 17, 2017. It's November is a very, 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 very special month, and I just found out today that it's also my 1 year anniversary with Haney, my personal assistant, my angel. And so it's even more special than I had initially even thought. So it's such a blessed month. And for this month, every year, I have a once a year huge sale where all of my courses, all of my intensives, everything goes on sale for 5 whole days. And so this year, we are doing 23% off. Last year, we did 22% off. This is 2003 or 2023. So we're doing uh 23% off. There is a code that will be going out. And so the sale is happening November 20th all the way to November 24th, 2023. We do the sale every year. However, if you are on my email newsletter, if you are subscribed to my email list and you receive weekly emails from me, then you will get an early access from the 17th to the 19th. So sale for my email subscribers will be from the 17th to the 24th. Sale for everyone else, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook will be 20 to 24th. If you are not on my email, girl, what are you doing? Get on my email. You can sign up via the link on my website, TheUniverseGuru.com. But let me see if I can quickly. If you go to my, let me see, I have it somewhere. Why is it making me log back in? Let me see if I can quickly get it to you guys. So make sure that if you want early access, the reason we're doing early access this year is every year this sale breaks the internet. Like literally, we've had to hire more people, have people stay up, all at all time zones, hire people to work through the weekend because that's how big this sale just is. And that's why we decided to give our email newsletters early access so then we can celebrate you guys and then also kind of split up the sale. Okay, this year we also have buy now, pay later. We have Affirm, we have Klarna, we have Afterpay for US residents. So there's extra opportunities. A new thing that's happening this year, we've never had this before. This literally is getting launched today. When you buy a course now, you can gift it. Previously, we used to have people emailing us saying, I want to buy my wife a course. I want to buy my girlfriend a course. I want to buy my best friend a course. I want to buy my sister a course. How can I do this? Now, when you're checking out, you can click the little box that says, is this a gift? If it is, click it, and then you can gift the courses. And I think this is way better of an investment as a gift than giving someone a trinket that they're not even going to remember next year, right? So that is an option that we didn't have available before. So any questions about that, throw that in the chat. I put my email newsletter link in the chat as well. Okay, everyone good? Okay, let me move on to seven. Number seven way that you are acting like a peasant, and I need you to stop it, is not trusting yourself. I can't tell you how many amazing, brilliant people I work with every single day that have created amazing things on this planet. I mean, I'm talking about scientists, CEOs, engineers, doctors, influencers, reality TV stars, authors, everyone. And then they're like not trusting themselves, right? Well, what if I mess this up? Or 10 years ago, I did this. Or when I was a child, and I'm like, babe, honey buns, that's not you anymore. Like you are literally doing inner work. You're here right now. You're investing in your inner work. You're rewiring your brain. You have new embodiment. You are not that version of you that made that mistake 20 years ago. You are not that version of you that made that mistake when you were 5, when you're 40 now, right? Like you're always changing. You're always growing. And sometimes we are changing inwardly, we're learning new things, but that part of us that needs to trust us is still judging us from something we did 35 years ago when we were in diapers. Like that's peasant consciousness. That doesn't make any freaking sense, okay? You are not the version of you that you were even a week ago, especially if you are doing your inner work. And if you're watching my content, babe, you're doing your inner work, okay? So you are not like the average person. Every time you're doing your inner work, you have to understand that you're compounding, you're collapsing time. So what the average human who is not doing their inner work, what they learn in like maybe 10 years of life experiences, you learn in a week because you are constantly rewiring yourself, you're constantly learning new things, you're learning new embodiments, you're trying new things, you're expanding, you're collapsing, you're growing, right? So trust yourself, okay? I don't care what you did them years ago. I don't care because that's not you anymore. This is you. Now it's a new version, and you need to trust this version because this version has access to new information, new ways of being, okay? But we forget to trust ourselves, okay? Number 8 way that you are being a peasant. Let's do another sip. Is by not educating yourself. Okay, you are here on this planet to reap all of the abundance of experiences, of foods, of love, of clothes and shoes and cars and homes and in giving and loving and connecting and pair bonding. Like you are here to experience all of that. But if you're still sitting in your room worried about that thing that happened 10 years ago, or I don't know how to do that and I can't figure that out, and you're not investing in yourself, you're not growing, then what are you doing with your life anyways? Now, I know people that watch me are always investing, always growing, but like give yourself like a fighting chance. Like give yourself the resources, the education, the investment, the time, the energy, the love, okay? All of those things, because then your energy will keep expanding, your consciousness, your brain, like everything will expand and you will have lived a life worth living. Okay. Don't be like the 97% of the world that literally die with the same level of consciousness that they had when they were born because nothing changed in them. They experienced nothing new. They had the same thoughts, the same feelings. They didn't have any growth. So trust yourself and educate yourself. Keep investing in yourself. That's something I'm big on. I don't care what anyone else is doing. Like let me tell you a story about this. Just even 10 years ago, let me place it right. 2023. So yes, 10 years ago, even just recently, 10 years ago, I would be sitting in rooms with people that I knew, friends and family members, having discussions about money, they're talking about stocks and they're talking about bonds and they're talking about dividends. And I would just sit there like a freaking idiot and like didn't know anything that they were talking about. I was like really attracted to that conversation, but I would just sit there. Okay. I didn't know anything about what they were talking about. They were like talking about all this juicy stuff. Okay. Now, here's what I was doing right. I was at this time doing inner work. I was growing. Okay. I didn't know that stuff, but I was like curious and I was like, oh, I want to keep investing in myself. I want to grow. I want to learn this. And one day I will be in this room and I will know all this stuff. What those people were doing wrong is that they just stood with what they knew. So they were not growing, they were not learning. This was a time in my life that I was just a stay-at-home mom, and there's nothing wrong with that. I love that. But like I didn't have a business, I didn't have I didn't even have any reason to learn about finances because my husband was providing 100% and he had everything covered. And so I could have easily been like, well, that's who cares? Like that, I don't even need to be listening to that because I'm provided for. However, there was a desire in me to keep growing. So even though I was fully provided, everything was done, and I had bank accounts with all those things because my husband was had those things and I was on his accounts, but I didn't know anything about them, but I kept growing. 10 years later, those people are still in my life. They are still making the same amount of money that they were making 10 years ago. Some of them are making a little bit more. But in those 10 years, I went from personally making zero money to becoming a deca millionaire in those 10 years. Now I know everything I need to know personally about stocks and bonds and dividends and investments and passive income. In fact, I have, if you counted all of my individual books and all of my individual courses and counted my stocks and everything, I have hundreds of passive income sources that are just coming from me. I'm not even involving my husband yet. They still know about stocks and bonds, and they still have that job that they had, and they're still making the money that they were making 10 years ago. But nothing changed in them. Nothing really compounded. Now, their investment portfolio compounded, but so did mine. But here's the thing, I compounded. I compounded. Okay, I went from being considered a homemaker, a stay-at-home mom, to becoming an eight-figure entrepreneur in those exact 10 years. Okay, now I'm not saying that those people were doing anything wrong. They were the average person. They know what they know. They were doing all the right things. They went to school, they got their degrees, they got a good job, and they invested in 401k and stocks and real estate and all that stuff. Thumbs up, both thumbs up, excellent. What I did is I went to school, I did all of those things, and then being a woman, I got married, had my babies, did all of that, but I did one thing extra that they didn't do. I kept investing in myself and I kept growing. They kept investing in their 401k, they kept investing in their stock portfolio, they kept investing all of those things. I kept investing in myself. So they now are still investing similar amounts that they were investing before. But here's the thing, my net worth passed theirs. How come they had, so most of these people are men, by the way. So they had a head start over me. They're older. Okay. They're older than me. So not only did they have a age head start, they didn't have to take all these years out to have the babies and raise the babies and all of that stuff. However, I passed them in income and net worth and investment portfolio simply because during all of this time, I just added one thing to the equation. I invested in myself. I compounded. And one thing that I have learned is that I outperformed the market. They only grew to the extent that the market grew. I grew at the extent that the market grew, and I freaking compounded. I outperformed the market, the real estate market, the stock market, all of them, all of the markets, because I kept investing in myself and I haven't stopped. I haven't stopped. So I am going to compound. That's barkat. Okay, I'm not gonna sit here and only be a slave to how the stock market compounds. And of course, I have millions of dollars in the stock market, and I love that. But how is that growing me? That's growing my net worth. How is that growing me? So do not, whatever you do not stop investing in yourself. I promise you, if you invest in yourself, you will outperform the market. Now, when I am in those same rooms with those same men, some of these people are my relatives, so they still know me. I know them. You know what they do when Mina Irfan enters the room? They stop the conversation and they say, Mina, tell us more. They're older than me. They had a head start. They started when I was in diapers, some of these people, okay, with their careers, with their businesses. However, they're like, tell me more. How did you do it? How are you doing it? They want give us advice. Same people, okay? While they were investing in their business, I was investing in myself. While they were investing in the stock market, I was investing in myself. While they were investing in the 401ks, I was investing in myself. And I have all of those things, so I'm not saying don't invest in those. However, I compounded, and I compound better and faster than those things, because those things are dependent on outside factors that we can't control, but I can control me. So that's probably the most important one. Okay. Number nine. Is everyone still with me? Okay. Let's see. We're good with the chat. Hi. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Let me keep going. Number nine, way you are being a peasant, stop it, is trying to rob the bank when you could have owned the kingdom. What I call, or what my culture calls, I shouldn't take credit for that. It's a word from my culture. We have this concept of the chindi chor. I've told you guys about this. Where's my Pakistani Indian people who understand what chindi chor means? Let me know in the chat right now if you're watching this in the replay. Let me know in the comments if you know what chindi chor means. Chindi chor means when, let's say that there was someone coming to give you an opportunity where you could have made $1 million, but you robbed him before he could give you the opportunity, and he had $100 in his wallet. Okay, stop being a peasant. I can't tell you how many times and places I see people doing this. Don't do it. I have another example. I've shared this with you guys before. My mom had set up this single mom that she knew. This woman had two children from a previous marriage, and my mom had set her up with one of her multi-millionaire friends. And this guy had a lot of money, and he was very much interested in this woman. And so my mom set them up. He takes her on a date, and the first date, he doesn't take her to dinner. He doesn't take her to coffee. He takes her to the freaking mall. Like, I'm just like, what? Okay. He decides that the first date is going to be at the most expensive mall in Chicago, and that he's going to take her on a shopping spree. And so they go, and she buys all of this, expensive clothes, shoes, like all of these things. Like they literally like have to hire someone to like carry the stuff and like bring it to their car and everything, okay? And then as the date is ending, and he's like, okay, let's go to dinner, let's do something. She's like, no, 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 I have to go home. My kids are at home. And he's like, okay, I'll drop you home. He drives her home, and she's about to get out of the car. And before she can gets out, she notices that, that little area in the car, I guess where you're supposed to put change. I don't know. It's like a little cubby little thing. She notices that he has change in it. Now, this is an old story. So this is before there used to be those you know how we have stickers in our car where it's like the tags that automatically pay the tolls? You guys know what I'm talking about. I'm blanking out on the name. I think the name varies state to state. Before we had that, we had quarters that we would have to put in the tolls. So this guy owned a very successful limousine company. Like he had like hundreds of limousines that, that his drivers drove. And so because of that, he was often kind of like going from place to place, and he had all these quarters. As she's getting off the car, she turns around and grabs that change and then walks out. Later on, he shows up at our house after their date, and he said that she was very lovely and he enjoyed taking her shopping, and that he was expecting to take her out to dinner and like for it to lead to something else. And he said that he could not get over that one thing. Because think about it, this is a very wealthy and successful man. He deals with, he's got business meetings and business partners and all of this stuff. And that peasant behavior, like this woman, like could have married this guy and would have been set for life. Like I knew this guy for my entire life that I was born. Like he was pretty much like my mom's brother, okay? So like I know him, and he would have taken good care of her. Like she could have had everything. She could have had this entire empire that this guy had built. Instead, She ruined it by being a freaking chindi chore. I remember when he left our house, my mom and I just sat there going, "Oh my God. Oh my God." Like that's not like my mom had coached her with some other stuff, like, but we wouldn't have even thought to coach her with this thing. Like because we don't think like that. Like my mom and I would not never be like, get his change. You know, that's what I mean by trying to rob the bank when you could have had the freaking kingdom. I see women and men in all different areas of life doing this. Don't do it, babe. Don't do it. Okay? Stop acting like a peasant. Don't do it. It's the vulture vibes. You will pick at the carcass for all the scraps. Yes, for some reason, my mom even tried to like kind of make excuses for her or like try to like laugh. Like my mom tried, but there was something about it. Even though he liked her, he couldn't get over it. It was too much for him. Yes, someone said, Mina, we are shaking off the peasant skin of thanks to your teaching. Girl, yes. Okay, we are ready for page two. We're ready. We're ready. Okay, let's move to page two. Number 10. This is going to be, I put here in business, but actually, I'm going to scratch that part off. I think this applies to dating as well. What I put is in business, thinking that others can't afford you. But honestly, I think this is in relationships too. And it kind of goes back in, again, not seeing as everyone as capable. I work at I work with some of the most successful entrepreneurs on the planet, like influencers with millions of followers, like all kinds of things, reality TV stars, like all kinds of things. And every single person still has this thing functioning inside of them. You would think that at their level, they're over it, but in some way they're still bringing it. Okay. And this is that. But if I price this as that, like my ideal clients are not going to be, I'm like, your ideal clients are not effing peasants. Just like you are not a peasant, they are not a peasant. And if someone really wants something, I know how I am. If I really want something, I freaking manifest it. Like everyone knows that if Mina wants something, get out of her way. Because I will bulldoze over you because that's at the speed that I go at the speed of light. So trust that other people have that ability. If they really want it, let them rise to the occasion. Now, let me tell you, I I'm I think I told you guys this, but for 2022, I was Thinkific's number one t top seller. So according to Thinkific, I sell more courses than 99.9% of the world's course creators. That's a lot, right? That's a lot. But here's the thing. I don't have more followers than a lot of the course creators. People have millions of followers. People spend millions on ads. I've never even used ads. And the reason for this is that I do not see the people showing up as peasants. I believe that they have the ability to manifest it. I can't tell you how many testimonials I get from people saying, Mina, when I first came and saw your prices, I was freaking out, but I wanted it anyways. And I manifested the money and I bought my first course and then I manifested more money and then I manifested more money and then I manifested more money and now I have all your courses. Because that one decision to back yourself up, to manifest the money, called in their power. It activated their lady balls. It activated their sovereignty, the part of them that's like, yes, I can do this. And then that same energy converted into manifesting more money. I can't tell you how many testimonials I have of people saying, I bought your course and I haven't even completed it and I got 3 times the money back through this channel, or I manifested 8 times my money back through this thing that I wasn't expecting because you backed yourself up. You trusted in yourself. You owned your desire. You backed yourself up for once. So that is a service that I'm providing to humanity. You're welcome. So no, I am not going to lower my prices. I'm not going to go in peasant consciousness. I trust your manifesting abilities. I trust that the minute you back yourself up, you're going to be manifesting at rocket speeds. And not only can you manifest my stuff, but my stuff will look cheap to you. You're going to be like, oh my God, I can own the kingdom. I can manifest the kingdom. So stop acting like the people that you're attracting, the people that you're choosing, the people that you're ideal people, that they are peasant because they're not. Number 11. Number 11. Number 11 way that you are acting like a peasant, and I need you to stop it, is thinking that everyone thinks like you. This is especially true in relationships. Oh my God. OMG. In relationships, women project their womanhood, their female ways of thinking that they have acquired from being gatherers onto men who have hunter brains. They don't have gathering brains. They do not think like women. They do not feel like women. They do not have female hormones. They do not have the female nervous system. They are different, right? But we think that everyone thinks like us. Another category or group of people that does this, it is freaking hilarious. Are haters on the internet or even haters in public. I can't tell you how many times people have tried to insult me thinking that what would insult them would also insult me, and I'm just not getting it. There have been times in person communication, which is one of my most hilarious ones, was when someone was repeatedly trying to insult me in person at a party. And because that thing was not insulting to me because I don't think like them, I wasn't getting it. I kept missing it. And first I was like confused what they're saying and I thought it's a joke and I'm missing the joke. So like I was trying to change the subject. And then finally they couldn't take it anymore and they just said that they're trying to insult me and that like, I'm not getting it. And I said, "Oh." And I said, "Could I offer you some feedback? If you want to insult me, you have to think like I think. You have to know what would insult me. Why I was missing your thing is you're using what would have insulted you on me, but I don't think like you. The thing that you were saying is not an insult to me. In fact, I was confused because I don't even think about that thing. It's not in my consciousness. It's neither good or bad. It doesn't exist." And I think I confused them at that point because they were just standing there looking at me like, what did she just say? But again, people think that everyone thinks like them. And when you are missing the mark, you're just revealing more information about you because now I walked away from that exchange knowing how to insult that person because I know what they think what they consider an insult, but they don't know anything about me. They still can't insult me. I could come back and insult them because now I know, ooh, they find that thing an insult. So if you don't know how someone else thinks, just keep your mouth shut because you're just going to, you know, reveal information about you and miss the mark anyways. So it is in peasant consciousness when you assume that everyone sees the world the way you see the world, everyone thinks like you're just revealing your insides. Learn about them first, okay? Learn about what they think, how they feel. Keep your mouth shut and learn. I have a whole section in this book called I Want You to Shut Up. That's what I want you to do. Number 12. Everyone still with me? Number 12. Way that you are in your peasant consciousness is when you can only see what's in front of you. Okay? That is still peasant consciousness. Okay? What you can see in front of you is manipulated by many things. First, that thing is something that's already been manifested, so it has that advantage. Okay. But then you're missing all of the other potential of things that you could manifest. That's one mistake. You peasant. That's peasant consciousness. Number two is your brain filters out things that you don't believe are possible. So you can't even see those things because your brain, in order to like it can't take in possibly everything that's there. So it has to filter out some of the things, right? When you're driving, if your brain really took in all the trees, all the leaves, every color, like you'd go crazy. You'd be crazy. Your brain would be fried. So our brains are designed to filter things out that are not important, that we don't believe in. It only focuses on the things that we have put in our awareness as important to notice, and it filters everything else out. So if you are in peasant consciousness, then you think, well, this is the only option available to me. This is the only man, this is the last man standing on the planet. This is the only job that can give me money. This is the only one way that it can happen. No, peasant. No, no, no. There's many other people on the planet. God can plant more people on the planet. God can create more, like out of thin air. There's infinite potentials that you are filtering out, and there's things that haven't manifested yet because you haven't put your attention on them yet. So you are in present consciousness when you only see what's in front of you and discount everything else. Number 13. Number 13, I had to do something special for 13 because 13 is my lucky number. It's also the number of the goddess. It's always been my lucky number even before I knew it was the number of the goddess. That's why they made it an unlucky number, because it was associated with women and being a goddess. So number 13 way that you are being a peasant is when you are wasting God's resources. And how you waste God's resources is first realizing that God used up energetic resources to create you. You are literally created from God's stuff, from God's energetic resources, right? Like you are a part of God. And so God took some of these resources and created you. And now you're over here acting like a fucking peasant by saying things like, I can't do that, and I'm a victim, and my skin and my hair and my city and my parents and my job, and I'm such a loser, and everyone else can have it. Shut the fuck up. Listen. You are made of the same resources as God stuff. We scientifically know this, that literally us, the stars, every single thing in existence, the trees, everything is made of the same God substance. We are all made of the same stuff. So you are made of the same material as the heavens and the angels and your ancestors and the stars and the moon and all great things, all amazing things. And you're over here acting like a peasant. Shame on you, okay? Cut it out. Stop wasting God's resources and start using God's resources. Start calling in God's resources, okay? That is going to be being a good, that's going to be you being a steward of God's resources, a good steward, okay? Number 14 is treating God like a peasant. OMG. How many of us sit there and say, I can't possibly make more money because my job only pays this much? Oh, Mina, you do not understand. With my degree, I can only. Do you seriously think that the one Almighty God is a peasant and can't manifest you money from any other source? Like, do you think that God, the one infinite creator, the most high, is limited by your damn job? Do you really think that? Do you think God is sitting up there going, well, I wanted to give her more money, but oh, I just can't. Like, I just can't because of her job. Like, do you really think that? Like, cut it out, okay? God is not a peasant, and neither are you. Number 15 way that you need to stop acting like a peasant is using Barkat to manifest down. Listen, Barkat behaves the way you want it to behave. Barkat behaves the way you tell it to behave, okay? And so there's a whole chapter in here. I don't know if it's a chapter, it's a whole section, it's a large section on Barkat, where I explain to you the concept of manifesting up versus manifesting down, manifesting in versus manifesting out. And if you really, really want to really go in deep, I actually have a whole course by the name of Barkat. Barkat is the Arabic word for God's multiplication, God's compounding. And what it means is that whatever you choose to put forth, God will compound it for you. God will multiply it. And if you think you understand math, you do not understand God's math. I promise you. I promise you. Whatever math you think you understand, God's math, Okay, you know those videos out there that say girl math? Girl, let me tell you about God math. God's math. Ooh, I have chills just thinking about it because God math is nothing like you have ever encountered on this planet. And God math follows you onto other planets. It follows you into other realms. It follows you into other incarnations. In fact, math follows your children. Your children inherit barakat. So anything good you put out, your children keep being rewarded for that. So use barakat to manifest up, not manifest down. Okay, this is a big mistake that people in their peasant consciousness make. Everyone still with me? Let me know. Which is your favorite so far? Let me know. Okay, number 16. I have an announcement to make. Haney, are you here? I don't know if Haney is here. Haney, if you're here, are we ready to make that announcement about this live stream and what I'm gonna do or no? If you're listening, tell me if I should keep my mouth shut or let them know. Are we ready or no? I need to know that my team is ready and energetically backing me up. Okay. 16. It's gonna blow your mind. 16 is leaking or giving away your life force energy. Your life force energy is your God currency. You know how when you send your children on a field trip, or maybe if you don't have children, nieces and nephews, and you're like, here's some money to like spend at the gift shop, when God sent us here, God gave us money. God's like, okay, my lovely child, there you go, in the womb, through the birth canal. You know, I'm going to be watching you from up here, having a gorgeous life, and I'm going to be with you. I'm going to be supporting you. And here's your money. Here's your pocket money. Go and use it. Use it well. Multiply it. Don't lose it. Don't lose it. Don't give it away now. Okay? Don't lose it. That's your life force energy. And a lot of people, especially women, keep giving that away to loser men, to predator men, to, with unsolicited advice, to relatives that have no intention of taking it, or friends and family members, no intention of taking it. Stop it. Stop it. That was your pocket money. That was for you to use, for you to invest, for you to grow. It was for you. Okay? God said, here is your pocket money. Use it well. I don't care what you do with it. You can buy something from the gift shop. You can, multiply it. You can invest in it. You could save it. And you went and you gave it away to the losers. Don't do it. That is you being a peasant because that was for you. You were supposed to use that to grow it, to do good things with. Okay, number 17 way that you are being a peasant is chasing others. Chasing others, convincing others, trying to recruit them, bring them with, wait, hold on, pick me, choose me, right? That is not why you're here. Everyone is sent with a God mission, a God soul blueprint, okay? You are not here to chase other people and become a part of their blueprint. Okay, that's not why you're here. Now, some people have been assigned together to go together, but God has already decided that, okay? You will never have to chase a person, especially identified as a divine feminine, that God has already assigned to you, okay? God couldn't be with us all the time in the physical, so trust me, they've assigned people, okay? There's parents, there's husbands, like we're good. There's team members, there's friends, like there's been people assigned to us. But any person that you have to chase and beg, borrow, and steal to be in your life is not your person. Stop being a peasant. While you're out chasing them losers, the people that are actually on your soul team are looking at you like you have lost it and you are cuckoo. Okay, and you might be actually repelling those people away from you. Number 18 way that you are being a peasant, and I want you to stop it, is always finding the negative. Wah, wah, wah. Those are my want people, okay? Want people are people that like no matter what happens, you can bet money. You can count on them to find the dark lining, to find the thing that dooms the whole thing. These are people that if you light a candle, oh no, the house is gonna burn down. Okay? If you're planning a vacation, the plane is gonna crash. Like they always think of the doomsday, the worst possible outcome. They're so annoying that they're just funny. They're just funny. Don't be that person, okay? That's you being a peasant. Okay? You haven't waited for God's last act yet, and the truth is you have trained your brain to only notice the negative because it's not possible for any circumstance to only have something negative. It's not possible. There's always a silver lining, and plus the whole thing might have not even played out yet, so you don't even know. You don't even know yet. Stop looking for the negative in everything, okay? I can't stand those people. The truth is those people can't stand me either. Because I'm a glass half full kind of person, I think I drive those people crazy as well. But I just know that God didn't set me here to let me down. So that's just dumb. I'm not going to look for the negative because I already know that the positive is there. Number 19 way that you are being a peasant is being addicted to drama. Now, look, I love me a good reality TV show here and there. I watch Married at First Sight, Ultimatum, Love is Blind, Selling Sunset. Yep, I do fast forward through the scenes in Selling Sunset because it's too dumb. But I do love their clothes. I love the homes. I love all of that stuff. And that dose of drama is good. But when you channel that drama into your marriage, into your money, into your health, into your life, that is not cool. That is so lame. That is such peasantry. Don't do it. Just don't do it. Oh my God, Haney, I was gonna ask you a question before I give them the last one. I don't know if you were here the whole time. I don't think you were. Let me see. Did you just come right now, babe? Tell me if you just came now. My team has been like busy. So, Haney, you know how when we were having our team meeting and I told you the end goal of this live stream and why I'm doing it? Are we ready to announce that, or do you think I should keep that to myself? Let me know. Oh, you just joined. Okay. Yeah. I feel like it's gonna be shocking to them and they're probably gonna love it, but like I'm not sure. I don't know. I'm having second thoughts about it now. Maybe this is something I should move in silence and then just surprise everyone. Okay, number 20. Let's go to number 20. Number 20 way that you are acting like a peasant, and I want you to stop it, is that you are addicted to suffering. And yes, it's true. I did say that every human being is addicted to suffering because, again, our primitive brain, our mental plane has been through millions of years trained for that, primed for that. But we have consciousness, don't we? So evolution takes time. Consciousness does not. You can have a spiritual awakening aha moment. I could have said something in this live stream that could have blown your brain. It could be like, oh my God, I can't believe I was doing that. So consciousness doesn't take time. It could be a split second that someone says something or you learn something and you're like, oh my God, my mind is totally blown. And now I'm thinking differently. So the ultimate peasantry, the ultimate way that most people act like peasants is through their addicted to suffering. Remember that pain is not optional, right? Like if someone pinches you, you're going to feel pain, but suffering is optional. So for example, if someone pinches me and I feel pain, I can look at them, okay? I can say, ow, you pinched me. Or I can start screaming and be, ah, oh my God, oh no, he pinched me. Oh my God, why would you do that? Everyone, he pinched me. Mom, he pinched me. Facebook, he pinched me. Oh no. 10 years later, I could be destroying my relationships and I could be like, 10 years ago, this guy pinched me. Or 10 years ago, that's suffering. That's optional. That's optional, right? Because that's something that you're choosing. Pain is not something you choose. It's a body's communication system. It says something's wrong, like move your hand off the fire or punch this guy before he pinches you. But suffering is optional. Suffering is optional. And so you need to evolve out of that right away, unless you want to be a peasant. So that was 20 ways that you are acting like a peasant, and I need you to stop. And now I want to see what you guys are saying. Announcement again, quickly reminding you guys our once a year holiday and birthday sale The official dates for that are November 20th to 24th, 2023. However, for my email list subscribers, the sale is going to be an extra couple of days. So for them, they can also shop 17th and 19th. And the way it works, ladies, is that there will be a code that's sent out via email and posted on the internet, on my socials, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, by my team. And you can use that code to get 23% off of all of my courses, intensives, the university bundle, the whole thing. Here's my email list. I'm throwing it in the chat. Okay, let's see. Questions, comments. What was your favorite? Anything that stood out to you? Yes, Haney, I got the same response. I think it's too early to share. When you guys find out what's happening, it's gonna blow your mind. But I think right now, I think we've given you guys too much. Like we've got the book coming out, the sales happening this month. Like I think my own container, it's like, calm down, Mina. Calm down. I cannot wait. Ready to be a university bundle student. Yay, Allison. Oh my God, I'm so excited to have you. She's going for the big one. She's going for the big boy. My favorite is about leaking life force energy. Yes. Yes, that is a potent one. That is your pocket money from God. Can't wait for the book and the sales holiday. Yeah, I know this November is always like our craziest month anyways, even without the book launch. Like the sale makes it like just a crazy, fun, exciting month, like the best kind of drama. And then on top of that, God was like, "No, you're launching this book in November." I'm like, "Oh my God." Okay, but we got it. We're expanding our container. We got this. Are you going to do a shop with me for the sales holiday, Mina? Yes, I am going to do a shop with me. Um, I'm super excited about that. So I'm going to do some that are going to be for my members only, and then there's going to be some that going to be public, like meaning everyone can chat. But I gotta be careful because with the audience that I have now, sometimes those can be super overwhelming for me where I can't see anything. So we'll see, but definitely doing shop with me. I love those. Those are always so fun. It's like Christmas. Yay! It's our Christmas for sure. November is like our funnest month. Thank you. This whole live is amazing. You don't even know how much this has been the message for me lately. I'm so happy to hear that, Charlie. Mina, how can we tell if the masculine is in peasant consciousness or he is just naturally experiencing life as a burden? So, I think the biggest thing for me, that's a great question, babe, by the way. I love that question. For me, what I've noticed is that when like I know my husband, my sons, like men in general, men that are closest to me, they experience both. And the biggest difference I've seen is just in their energy. Like when they're like growth mindset, but like I'm burdened right now, like that's them just being men and like they're holding the container. Like being a man and like providing and protecting is like one of the hardest things. That's why I always say men really have it harder than us, especially because they're not like as sexy as us, and like it's hard for them, right? Like we have glitz and glamour and we have support and we can call people in. Like it's harder for them. So I can tell from my husband's energy or my family member's energy whether it's like I'm having a feeling burdened moment versus like I'm in peasant consciousness. So watch for subtle clues in their energy. Like you can usually see in like their face, like if their face is like kind of like their smile is kind of downturned and you're seeing other like signs of distress in their body, and then they're like kind of like slooped over, like if it's like the whole world is caving in, they've gone into like peasant consciousness versus a man that's working really hard, he's dealing with challenges, he still has his kind of like king stature. Okay, and he might look stressed, but he's not like frowning mode. Like he's not, do you know what I mean? Like then you can tell that he's like experiencing a moment, but that a masculine moment, but he's not in peasant consciousness. Everything when it starts kind of swooping down for them, that's peasant consciousness. I can tell, I can like physically see it right away. This was a beautiful live and a wake-up call in many ways. Thank you, Mina. You're so welcome. Thank you so much. That makes so much sense. Okay, awesome. I'm gonna skip over questions that I feel like are not necessarily vibing with this live. I want to keep this on kind of like topic with what we're talking about. So like anything about the holiday sales, the book launch, what I discussed today is welcome. Sometimes I'm like open to all topics and sometimes I'm not. You kind of have to just go with my energy. Sorry. But today I'm just feeling on topic. Let me see what you guys are saying. What else is more shocking than lady balls? True, true. I think this was just shocking with um how I was doing it, but yeah, you're right. You know what? I think you're right. Like I can't shock you after this point. You're right. That is hilarious. I'm going to rewatch it. Awesome. Yes, this is my birthday month. I'm going to be turning 43 this month. Super excited. Let me see what else you guys are saying. This video is helping me understand why I don't get along with certain people. They are in peasant consciousness. Yes. So I will say, Christian, let me say this. When I was getting myself out of peasant consciousness, it was very hard for me to hang out with people that were also in their peasant consciousness. And let me give you clarity on this. I think this is very nuanced, so let me go into it. You guys know that I talk about human design a lot. I'm a projector. I'm actually a projector slash hybrid reflector. And I have a lot of open centers. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, my son Armand's email address is in the description box. Email him and get a reading because you need to know how your energetic body works. So when I was trying to get myself out of peasant consciousness, if I was hanging out with people who were thinking in peasant consciousness, talking about peasant consciousness, that would affect me. The reason is I have all open centers. And when we have all open centers, depending on what centers it is, we take energy from those centers and we amplify it. So let's say that I'm just going to throw out numbers for you. Let's say that I used to be level 10 peasant consciousness, and now I've been doing my inner work and I'm at a level 5 peasant consciousness, means peasant consciousness going down, abundance consciousness going up. And let's say I'm hanging out with a friend who's like totally in peasant consciousness and she's talking about it and she's thinking about it. So she's making it up, like she's in scarcity consciousness. Well, if I'm hanging out with her and I was 5 and I take her consciousness and I amplify it, I'm going to be back up at an 8, 9, 10. But because my lower centers are actually colored in, so my root chakra is good, if my friend was actually in peasants, meaning actually in scarcity, so let's say that she was actually broke, but she had faith. She wasn't thinking scarcity thoughts. She wasn't speaking scarcity thoughts. She was just poor. I could hang out with her because my root chakra is colored in. And because of that, I'm not going to amplify her energy. My energetic body can hold my own. Okay. Haney, could you please put Armand's email address in the description box? Because a lot of people will need readings after this. You trust me, you need a reading. So but there came a time in my inner work where I was not in peasant consciousness at all. Like I live in Barkat, I would say 99.9% of the time. I have tiny moments where I'm like, Mina, you're acting like a peasant, cut it out. I do have those moments, but it's rare for me. So now I can hang out with a room full of people that are talking all kinds of scarcity. They do not, but like they are like certified PhD peasants. Okay, I can hang out with them and it doesn't like my field is stronger than their field and their peasantry bounces off my field. In fact, I might, without even opening my mouth, infect them with my abundance. They might be scared of me. They might be like, no, 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 don't hang out with Mina because we are addicted to suffering and her energy just makes us feel good and we don't like feeling good. We like feeling suffering and peasantry. let's not hang out with her. She's so annoying anyways. She's too positive. She doesn't really get us. So there will come a time where your field will become the dominant field and their peasantry will be like shielded off. Like it won't even come near you. Like it just can't come near you. That makes so much sense. I have a lot of open centers too, and I feel like I need to be pretty careful about who I hang out with. It depends on what centers. So I don't have a lot of colored centers, but God bless me because some of the right ones are colored in. So I can hang out. My root chakra is good. It's colored in. So I'm not affected by people being poor and like bringing that energy like that like I can uplift them. In fact, if they're like I'll give them abundance. But if they are in peasant consciousness, which is different, millionaires could be in peasant consciousness, right? That used to affect me, but then I just grew my consciousness to a point where that doesn't affect me anymore. Like my vibration is higher. I'm not a vibrational match for that anymore. So keep doing your inner work. I'm turning 28 on 11/11. Happy birthday, Sonia. I'm so jealous. Your birthday is 11/11. Like, what an amazing birthday. I love that. I'm turning 28 on 11/11, and I've been following you since 2017. You've changed my life. So excited to buy the book and for the next level up. Yay! I'm so excited. I cannot wait for you guys to have it. By the way, make sure you're on my newsletter because a little birdie told me I don't know if I should actually say this yet, but a little birdie told me that we may be able to give early access to people on our email list. So we don't know yet for sure. Pretend like you didn't hear that, but get on my email list anyways. Okay, I put my email list. You can find it on my website. I'll throw it in the chat as well. You should be on my email list anyways because it's fabulous and it's gridded and trust me, you need it. Okay, get on there. Girl, what are you waiting for? Get on there. There it is. There's the link. I emailed Arman about a reading last week. Should I follow up? I don't want to rush him, just curious about the timeline. No, he usually responds in about 48 hours, so it may have ended in spam. Heaney, remind me to I'll ask him because he's very good about getting back, so maybe it ended in spam. I don't know, but I'll have him look into that. The email list is juicy. Yay, Lulu! I love it. I love being able to like privately communicate with you guys. When you sign up, make sure you put us in like your approved list so it doesn't end up in spam because it happens sometimes and then you guys are freaking out that you're not getting my emails. All of my lower centers are open and I'm still around self-aware Barbie level, so this is a great reminder to protect my energy. Les, yes, I feel you. When I was in self-aware Barbie and all of my o top centers are open, ooh, people would like come at me at level 5 cray and I would leave them at like level 7 cray because I would take their energy and then amplify it. So you take their crazy and then you can amplify it. And then I would be tired and exhausted and manifesting fights and arguments and it was a hot mess. So you when and if you do have to hang, and I know sometimes it's work or relatives, you have to hang out with them. Make sure you are set up so that you empty out your centers afterwards. You have to cleanse out those centers. You have to treat it like it's cooties, okay? It's cooties. I love the email list. It's like the daily horoscope read. I'm always looking forward to it. Yay, Sonia! I love writing them for you guys. So I'm so glad that you guys enjoy them. Recently, I've been doing like more like newslettery style. I used to do like more like a post before, but I've been really enjoying. Do you guys like the change? I've been really enjoying writing it that way. Yeah, 11/11 is such a lucky birthday. I love that for you. I really need this live. I'm 20 years old and I live with my mom who is always in her peasant consciousness. Oh, that can be hard when you're living with other people like that, especially with her relationships. I love her dearly, but I'm trying to reparent myself. Thank you, Mina. Oh, that's tough, especially with parents, because no matter what age we are, there's still a part of them, a part of us that like is looking at them as like this higher conscious evolved person because they're our parents and we need some validation from them and approval from them. That can be tough. But you got this. You're doing your inner work, and your energy is just more expansive, it's higher, and it will keep compounding. Remember that. Don't forget that you are not working linear. You're compounding. Your inner work is compounding. Mina, if you don't mind, can we see your outfits? I love your life. Awesome. When I'm ending this, remind me and I'll stand up and show you. I'm way too comfy, girl, to like get up and show you and then get back comfy right now. I'm doing these on the comfy couches in my media room. I didn't think that it would film well in here because we have black wallpaper in here, but I feel like it does. It's like pretty good. Yes, the newsletter style is good. Okay, I'm so glad to hear that. Let me see. How do you deal with negative family members like your own mom and dad? Can stay away from present people, but not your own parents. How can I help them? Don't help them. They need to help themselves. Treat them like a baby. So this is how I deal with it. And I learned this from my other relatives, so I can't really take credit for this. My cousins are the queens. Like my feminine cousins, because I have some masculine cousins too, but my feminine cousins, I wish we could do a field trip where we could just watch them in action. Like I'm so blessed that I got to see them growing up. They navigate tricky situations so classy and so gracefully. So I would see, I've shared some of this with you guys before. Maybe you haven't heard me talking about it. Like I would see like let's say there's a party and there's like those relatives, the ones that are always in peasant consciousness. Oh, they're dying and they're so sick and every like it's a happy thing happening, but they're just everything about them. It's like yes, yes, she's getting married, but I need attention. I'm sick. My finger, my hair, I'm dying. Blah blah. Like it's like you're fine. Like right, but they just thrive on being sick or getting this attention. This like kind of every they don't like it when attention is and anything positive or anyone other than their illness. So I would watch everyone like kind of avoiding them or getting stuck with them because you have to go say hi and you go say hi and then all of a sudden you're talking about their constipation and all the shit that they're dealing with and you're just like oh my god, right? Like get me, god beam me out. And my cousins would walk up to them, say salam, say hi, and they would start talking about their stuff. And they would say, "Oh no, now they're there," and fix their hair. Oh, so sorry. Fix their hair, and then walk away. And I would be like, "Oh my God, I had to have a 20-minute pep talk with myself in the car. Almost had a panic attack walking into the room, and then you just waltzed up there. Now they're there, fixed their hair, and then waltzed away." And I'm like, oh, I could do that. Now I do that. So you just walk up and you they're saying stuff, I'm dying, I threw up, and there was blood in my ears and all of this stuff, and you're just like, no, they're there, fix their necklace, and then you just waltz away on to the next person. This trick has changed my life. Two of my cousins that taught me this, I love you guys. You guys are the best. I don't know, like they're just so graceful. My feminine cousins can like they're so savage, they just kill it. They kill it. So that's what you need to do, okay? Meanwhile, I'm like sweating and like, my God, I'm gonna get stuck. Like, do I have to go say salam? Yes. Can I pretend like I died yesterday? No, okay. And I would go and then I'm like salam, and then I'd be standing there talking about their tummy and their blood, and then all of a sudden they're like raising up their dress to show me their rash, and I'm just standing there like, my God, like is my child calling me? Like someone call me, right? And then they would just waltz in, and it was like nothing. That's what we need to do. Yep, it's perfect because all they wanted was attention, right? And mind you, my cousin could be 35 and they could be 85 and they're still like, "Mwah, mwah, mwah, now, and then they just walk away. It's perfect. That is actually the most empathetic thing to do. They probably like it. They seemed happy. I know. Why didn't I think of that? Meanwhile, I'm telling my kids if I cough, like call me, and like if I'm standing there for too long, like, you know, I don't know, throw up, like do something, right? But like they just walked in and out. I'm going to try that. Yes. Like soothing a baby. Yes. You don't have to send Morse code or like make up really weird like hand signals for your family. Which trust me, I've tried all of those things. Arman is the worst with that because then I'm like, I was doing the sign and he's like, oh, I'm so sorry. I was like talking to the other guy. I'm like, you were supposed to be watching me. Okay? Like he'll like miss all of them. You guys are so funny. Yeah, Allison, I agree. I would recommend having a reading done with Arman. Honestly, it's one of the best gifts that you can do because then you have all the answers. And he explains it really good. Like I've heard nothing but amazing things from everyone that has done a reading with him. And people send their family members, their friends. They have multiple readings. So yeah, Mamta energy. There you go, Lulu. That's it. Yep. Old people love to be babies. Yes. Some people are just so disempowered. Like I've seen this pattern in men and women that if something bad and big happens in their life and they internalize it as like I failed and they're afraid to show face, they it's easier for them to act sick and like check out of life than to like heal through that thing. So it could have been like this one incident that happened like 40 years ago and they've been pretending to be sick for 40 years, thus manifesting actual diseases. Because what I've seen is that typically the disease started in their mind first, and then they literally made themselves sick to show proof. So yeah, I've seen all kinds of crazy stuff like that. So, all right, babes, I wanted to hang out with you guys, give you guys these 20 ways to stop acting like a peasant. Book comes out on 11/11. If check all of my emails, I will be sending out emails. If there's an early access possibility, my email list will have it first. So make sure you're on my newsletter. Also, my big sale, once a 23% off, once a year sale is happening on November 20th to 24th, 2023. Early access will be starting November 17th for my email list subscribers. So make sure you're on my email list. Link is in the description box. Thanks so much, Mina. I'm so activated. Awesome, babe. I love you guys. This was so much fun. Let me show you my outfit. Hold on. It's probably all messed up now because like my skirt is all bunched up. Hold on. Hold on. Let me see. Let me do this for you guys. Okay, hold on. Hold on. I might have to like do it this way so that I can like fully show you my outfit. Okay. Hold on. Let me do it this way. Okay. This is my outfit. There you go. All right. I love you. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.